Hi all, I'm Mick Ferris, High Performance Coach, and you're watching me on Run Forest Run TV. Hi, I'm Mick Ferris. I run a high performance coaching program out of Kingscliff, well, Cabarita Beach, but more so Kingscliff, New South Wales. Personally, I've been coaching since 1997, but in the last probably 10 to 12 years, I've now specialised more into high performance ITU World Triathlon Series style coaching, and just love what I do and just love coaching athletes wanting to progress through to the highest level. I'm lucky we have a great DTE, which DTE is a daily training environment. I have a few pretty key athletes in my program at the moment, all of whom are doing really well and progressing. We're out here at the moment out at Currumbin and have a pretty cool group with Josh Ferris, Charlie Quinn, Timmy Burkle, Nat Lindsay, Brooklyn Henry and Zane Bowen, all talented athletes in their own right, and just love nothing more than mixing myself with some of the best athletes we have in our country. Yeah, hi. So guys, anybody who probably wants to find what we're doing, probably the best thing is on Insta, and it's Mick Ferris Performance on Instagram. Pretty much where I do most of my stuff. Please, anyone touch base. If you swim down here at Currumbin, you want to come and swim at Currumbin, touch base with me, because I'm all about getting people involved and creating the best environment we can have. It's funny, this doesn't pay my bills. I have to work sort of outside this a bit to pay the bills, but that's fine, But Mick Ferris Performance on Insta, great place to send me a message, find out you want to come and have a bit of a look and feel what a daily training environment looks like, touch base with me. Always happy to sort of help in any way to help anybody progress to achieving their goals. So just reach out on Insta and always reply. Might take a day or two, but I always reply. So if you ask my advice of what it takes to, just say from a WTS, World Triathlons, to go from being a junior athlete to an elite under 23, and this also applies to, say, an age group 70.3 athlete who wants to go through to be a 70.3 Ironman elite athlete. And it's just the fact that I've been through the journey, I've done it, and I've done it myself, and I've done it with my son. So I feel I got a pretty good understanding for it. And 100%, you kind of ask me, it's patience. The first thing is patience, going from being let's say an age group athlete to an elite 70.3 is patience in the journey. The other thing is setting yourself up a good team around you, and that good team, particularly when you're looking to step up to an elite level, it's finding a nutritionist, it's finding a strength and conditioning coach, it's finding a good tri coach who's invested in you as you're invested in them. So it's building a team around you, and if you get yourself into the right coaching program, they'll have that team there already. But it's 100% having patience through all your training. Like a lot of people, when they choose to go from being, say, an age group or just say a junior athlete to 23s, one of the biggest mistakes that juniors make stepping up at 23s is they think they've got to increase their loads all of a sudden, because they're going from a junior to an elite /23 athlete. They've got to increase their loads and do more. Don't have to increase anything. It's a patience game, it's a build game over a lot of years. And it's having the patience to trust the process, and trusting the people around you will give you what you need to be an elite athlete. And it's funny, if you can get the opportunity to place yourselves in around elite athletes and see how they go about it, it's pretty simple really, hey, you know what I mean? But it's finding the right coach, having patience, and building a little team around you. And that's the secret to becoming an elite athlete. It's not doing more miles, it's not training harder, it's not avoiding the 1%ers, and the 1%ers are getting your massages, stretching, speaking to a nutritionist, making sure calorie intake's where it needs to be for the loads that you're punching out. It's like I say with Josh here, most people, you guys know Joshy Ferris, and I use him a bit of an example in the way that it's gone from being a bit of a coach to being a bit of a manager, because we're talking to strength and conditioning, we're talking to nutritionists, we're talking to sports psych, we're talking to physio. We're doing, these things are all part of the journey of becoming an elite athlete. And that's when we spoke a bit earlier about the importance of building a team around you and building relationships, because you need a team, you need a coach that has the direction of where you want to go, and you need patience, and you need slow progression. But all those other things I spoke about, you hear about things, people talk about 1%ers all the time. To make it an elite athlete, those 1%ers are more important than swim, bike and running. Any day of the week. You ask my guy, I'd rather see him drop a bike session to go get their strength and conditioning. You mean they flat out and they haven't got time, then drop your swim and go see the nutritionist. Because there's definitely these 1%ers, and building that team and finding the right coach is the key to progressing from age group through to elite 73 or junior through to elite 23. Which is sort of, I'm just changing it up. We're going to go longer. So we're going to set up a longer rectangle. So we'll put 2 boys up here, 2 up there, and they'll just swim longer at race pace. And when we're here, the boys are always something we work around. We never, ever swim around boys. Easy, no chance for a time to have a recovery. Boys are opportunity to make a difference. So we're just going to change what we normally do a bit, and they're going to swim longer, because we've got Burke's going to Lencowie in a couple of weeks. Charlie's getting ready for Noosa, and the other 2 lads are going to Raby Bay. So we'll get something set up a bit different, mate. Awesome. Yeah, so I've been pretty lucky, in the way that we've got some really cool people that support us. Like we're an external daily training environment, so there is no support from anywhere from us, from our governing bodies. So everything we do is it's what we have to do what I got to do personally to get the support we need to survive. We've been really lucky. We've got some pretty cool people come on board, and I got told a long time ago, it's amazing what you'll get if you build relationships with people, and hence is what we've done. And the support I get outside the system is just fairly incredible. We've got plasmades come on board, and over the next couple of years, you're going to hear a lot about plasmade. A lot of people tapping into it, but they took us on board really early in the piece, in particular Josh. So that's been great. We have Lapped Apparel. Stubbsy at Lapped has just been a ridiculous good man, and been great in supplying for my program. So I can't thank Stubbsy enough. Brad Beer, Pogo Physio, man, what a legend, Just his time and what he gives is well and truly above and beyond what he needs to do, where I've had Brad call me on Christmas Day wanting to chat to me about things, which that's his commitment to my guys. We got Movement Casarina, where we run our pool and our strength and conditioning out of. Man, the deal they've set with me, without what they give me and what they charge, it wouldn't be sustainable. So that's my point about building relationships with people, and you'd be amazed as to what you get. We got Fry's Energy Wise, just been a great supporter in paying a little bit of money each week. So I can't thank Ian from Fry's Energy Wise more than, known Ian for a long time, but I went and had a chat to him one day, and he jumped on straight away, which is that's the kind of help we get. So there's a whole group of people, that it's an old saying, it takes a village to build a man, and it's such a true thing, we got strength and conditioning, with Josh in particular, he's now getting support from Quass, which makes that really cool, but we've got Amber from AT Training, who looks after the other guys at Movement, and do a great deal with him. We got Murray from Casarina, who does the massaging for the guys and does them a really good deal on massages. To anyone out there, you ask me, can you get support? Build relationships. Just build relationships, and you'd be amazed as to what you'll get. Yeah. So how the week works for us in our training environment is that we pretty much are based out of Casarina and Movement Casarina. So the week sort of rolls in the way that Mondays is for the lads is a long ride day. They also do strength and conditioning, and they also swim. We swim at Casarina Movement pool there Mondays. Tuesdays we come up here to Currumbin, and it's a real race specific, on the gas, open water swim session, and which is why we're so stoked at the moment to have people such as Nat Lindsay, Tim Burkle, Charlie Quinn have joined in on our open water sessions now, which just makes the quality of it, yeah, first class. The lads today will do a long run as well, and they won't strength and condition today. Tomorrow will be a bike specific hill session. They'll go out the back of Kingscliff, Casuarina where we live, out to Tomwin, and do some hill repeats out in Tomwin. They'll also swim again tomorrow in the pool, another 4.5k set, 4.5k set is normally where we sit, and they'll run as well. Thursdays are also set out at where we live at Casuarina, and it's usually just a pretty cruisy hour and a half ride. I give the guys the option if they want to get on their time trial bikes for that ride. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We tap away a bit of TT stuff, even though we're more the ITU World Triathlon Series specifics. They'll also swim on Thursday again, and they'll also run again Thursday. Fridays is a bit of a cash day, but once again we train, they run and swim on Friday as well. And the guys fit their strength and conditioning in. They do 2 a week, so they'll tend to fit it in where they best think it fits. Saturdays we call it Super Sat, always around the Kingy area, whether it's down near Pottsville or we go out the back at Merbar there, and we'll just do race specific sessions, and there'll be a bike run session. And depending on where we are, what we're doing, depends on the intensity of it, and it's a real just a CrossFit of what we need at the time of year we're at. The guys usually on their own will go and do another 2k swim, optional, at the Movement Casuarina pool. And then just recently I've just started giving the lads a day off on Sundays, where normally in the past they'd probably make that their long run day, so as that they can get their run loads to where we need their loads to be for the week. But we've been able to adjust it really good the last 3 or 4 weeks, whereas that they're able to pretty much have Sundays off at the moment, which I'm really enjoying that they get a day off. I just think it's important to everyone. I think a lot of these athletes train 7 days a week, and I never did, and I can't understand it why it needs to happen 52 weeks of the year nearly. So the guys currently have Sundays off. So that's kind of how we tap along with a DTE. Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, but it only works from the commitment of the athletes. If the athletes aren't committed, then it doesn't work, you know. And you kind of ask me why I coach where I am now, it's that, because I'm actually coaching athletes who want to be there. I'm not dealing with parents, I'm not dealing with parents forcing their kids to come. These guys are lobbing up because this is what they want to do. And the feedback and the progression and the results you get from that is tenfold anything you'll get anywhere else. Hence is why I just love it so much. Yeah, so a bit of my history. I said as a kid I was a cricketer, and for the majority of my junior days I played a lot of cricket and went on to play shield cricket for 2 years. I'm not sure what year it was, but I think we're looking early 80s, so a long time ago. So I came from a cricket background and really just enjoyed playing cricket at that, once a bit like triathlon, at the high level. I remember one day we were coming back from the Australian Indoor Cricket Championships, and a mate of mine had a triathlon magazine. It was called Triathlon Sports Magazine, on the floor of his car. And I read it all the way from Ballina, all the way back to Sydney after completing the championships. And it was really funny. I think it was a week or 2 after reading the magazine, the Hawaiian Ironman was on Wide World of Sports Channel 9. And I remember had never watched it before. I can remember sitting there watching it just in awe, just completely in awe of what I was seeing. And I sort of sat there, and my whole family at the time were in the lounge room. And it was quite an uncanny thing in the way as soon as the telecast finished, I said to everyone, I said, I'm going to do that one day. And pretty much everybody knew my background by then. Probably wasn't the fittest bloke or healthiest bloke running around, even though I was playing cricket. But amazingly, 3 years later, I went to my first Hawaiian Ironman in 1991. So, and that sort of then propelled me from then on. From that moment on, I was just 100% invested in triathlon. I spent a lot of those early years, 93 and 94 in particular. I had a couple of pretty cool training partners, and today two of my two good mates in Bruce Thomas and Jay Shortis. Through that period in particular, we raced a lot around Europe, Colorado, Kona. And it was just a pleasure at that point, training with two probably legends of our sport to this day over the Ironman distance, both Australian champions, and they were my training partners and my mates, and they propelled me. In '94, I was the second Australian to finish the Hawaiian Ironman behind Greg Walsh. So, it was just an incredible journey. From that moment, I decided to do this triathlon as a sport. I won't call myself a professional athlete because you have to make money. I'll call myself a full-time athlete because when I came, I wasn't making the money Bruce and Jace probably were, but it was just a great experience. Coming off the back of racing Ironman, I then went into a lot of adventure racing and multi-sport racing, and competed really competitively over those race formats. I had 2 coast-to-coast one-day world championships under my belt, eco challenges, Mile 7 North outdoor quests. So pretty phenomenally big adventure / multi-sport events. So that sort of preluded my Ironman career. And off the back of that, I sort of then, at the same time that was happening, I was also coaching. I started coaching with Bruce Thomas. We started a business together called Energy Link and Triathlon Coaching, which, to Bruce's credit, still runs to this day from 1997. The business still runs and is successful too. So went from that. And then off the back of that, got married. We had kids. Also, my sons wanted to do triathlon. I hadn't coached for a few years. So when they decided to start to do triathlon, I got back into junior coaching. So I started back as a junior coach, and then just the journey with my boys and the squad we built around that has probably now got me to where I am now, where I'm now coaching high performance elite, late junior, under 23 athletes. Just the whole journey from coaching from 97 to starting off teaching little kids how to mount a bike and now be dealing with elite high performance athletes has just been an incredible journey. And I look at what I know now to what I know back then. It's just been a ridiculously good journey that I've just thoroughly enjoyed. So really in the future, what we got looking for the guys moving forward is that someone like a Zany Bowen, he's getting ready and preparing himself for the Australian Junior Series, and 100% Zany will be trying to achieve a under 19 junior elite position. We got Brooklyn Henry. Brooklyn's going to Tapaway, and he'll be racing on the 23 elite season this year in the national series, which there isn't a calendar at the moment, so we're still not 100% certain what the year looks like, probably starting from about February, March, but highly likely be racing in New Zealand, Devonport, maybe Geelong, Wollongong. So it's a fairly national series, which is, it takes a fair bit of planning. So, so that's where those lads will look. Joshy Ferris will 100% be looking at the elites, under 23 and the elite series. And Josh will definitely be looking at securing an under 23 elite berth for next year, which, it's pretty competitive, but that's probably great that it is too, So the guys will race pretty much around the country, and we don't know a series yet, so that makes it a bit difficult, trying to plan. But that's where these elite guys, and they really have to go, because these races, this Australian Junior Triathlon Series races, it ticks a lot of boxes. It ticks the selection policies for the under 19 junior elite team, ticks the selection policies for the under 23 elite program, ticks the boxes for Com Games, it ticks boxes for the World Triathlon Series, it ticks boxes for everything. So it's quite an important series, and you got to really plan it really well to make it work. Definitely Joshy Ferris he'll head to overseas next year. He'll definitely, there's still something we've got to discuss because the international season hasn't been announced yet. So we need to wait for that to be announced. But Josh will head overseas for a stint of time. But at the same time too, we still need to wait to see what the international season looks like, because maybe the investment just racing in Asia may be better than going to Europe. So these are some pretty big decisions we have to make. You mean we've currently got Burks and we've got Charlie Quinn with us at the moment, and Nat Lindsay. The guys are 70.3 races. You mean Burks is off to Langkawi in a couple of weeks, and then he'll look at Busso. Nat Lindsay is looking at the 70.3 series. He's coached by RPG Coaching, and Charlie's looked after by Burks. And Charlie's looking at Noosa. Charlie won Noosa next year, so pretty stoked to have him here working with us at the moment, getting ready to defend his Noosa title. As you see, these are the enormities that you deal with. Junior athletes right through to your best elite WTS races, and also your world-class 70.3 Ironman athletes. So probably not hard to explain to you why it's such a cool thing to do, you know what I mean? So, so that's what the season looks like, but a bit all up in the air at the moment because we still don't have a calendar as to what's happening over the next 12 months.